focus on the next slide. So let's say there is a multitude of definitions, and all of them are true to some case, right? And there are tons of surveys out there, especially when in the field of employee engagement. There are many survey providers, and each of those survey providers has their own definition. And sometimes it is just a blanco test. Most of the time, it's somehow based on what the company wants to hear, which means, of course, you lose out a lot of information through this. And let me give you a working definition. It's no by-the-book definition, but an overlap of the best of that found, which is that employee engagement can only be measured indirectly. You will never be able to find a variable of engagement, just a phenomenon that indicates towards the underlying trend of engagement. And what you do is, for this, you operationalize opinions, attitudes, behaviors, work outcomes, etc. And there's no absolute value. It's also a big mistake. People say, look, we have scale from 1 to 4, and now this year it is 3, and now next year it's 4. Usually it's not done annually, it's rather done every 4 years or so, because it's in the old-fashioned way of service quite expensive. And it, of course, doesn't make pretty much sense, because if you say it's a 3 or it's a 4, what does it mean? I think it's much more important to understand the baseline and see what's the improvement, either over time or individual department compared with other departments, because only this gives a measure to understand what to improve and what not. Another thing that we see is that there is hardly any overlap with competency models in the surveys. And so think about the competency, what the working behavior based on Bartram's research, Dave Bartram's research, is actually that it's a set of behaviors that is instrumental to reach a goal, important goal, right, for the company. And so which means it's important to really focus on the observable facts, the behaviors, even more than on the outcomes, actually. And therefore, those should be aligned with competency models. So most companies have competency models where it's a certain set of behaviors that are then used to define what should be done at a certain position. And those behaviors can be observed. If I look at the outcomes, think about salespeople, there's always a portion of luck involved. To think about R&D people that work on the same thing, and there's maybe one breakthrough over every 5 or 6 years. So which means that it's very much more important to look at what people do and rate it in a neutral way. And as more people rate it, of course, the better it is. And we will never be able to really understand the underlying psychological factors fully. And we can't observe them, but we can see how they lead through the moderation of the environment, the team that someone is in, the company someone is in, to behaviors. And those behaviors then lead to outcomes. And this is basically, therefore, if you think about engagement, I'm a big believer in focusing on behavioral traits. There are certain outcomes that I think are anyhow interesting to have a look into over and beyond the behaviors. Those are performance stability, and I'm happy that you mentioned it, because I think this is everything that's marked here in red is what I think is very important. The intention to stay, this is something that you can observe either by that they stay, this is the behavior, right, that they don't leave, or you can, of course, ask for their intention to stay, which I think is not always a good idea, but you can also do other things. For example, you can look into communication patterns, behavioral patterns based on people's entry system, location systems, office systems, and then use this as proxies, use ambient data as proxies to predict whether a person has a high or low intention to stay. You can look at onboarding speeds, participation, all kind of extracurricular activities which would be defined as corporate citizenship, of course. You can look at competency ratings, which I think is very interesting. That's what Pro 360 does, by the way. It looks how the peers and the manager rates the behavior of individuals. And you can look into whether those people took vocational trainings, whether they bring employee referrals. And the idea of employee referrals is very interesting, because if you think about it, it's a high quality hire. We come to this next week, I guess. And on the other hand, it's important that such employee referrals also indicate that someone is willing to invest his or her friend circle into the company, and therefore they're a brilliant measure of engagement. Although the problem is, of course, certain fields can bring more referrals than others. Therefore, it's a bit tricky to compare groups against each other. So, for example, if you have a few data scientists, they may have friends, but they are spread all over, right? Highlight because it's not so likely than a salesperson that they refer someone for the team. But of course, then good results in employee engagement survey, it's not futile, just need to be balanced against other factors. And then, of course, strong working results of the individual over time. And then, of course, that is something else, facilitating the work of others. Because think about an organization, even if each individual in that organization is able to give 100%, could be the organization still is underperforming, because the problem is that that actually they don't help each other, right? So therefore, this is an important factor that can be observed, leveraged, how departments help each other to do a better job. Totally.